Good afternoon. We're here to discuss a often ill-used and wrongfully used piece of cutlery maintenance equipment called the sharpening steel. Not as in steel as in the contents of the knife, but that's traditionally what this device is called. Because typically what happens is most people get a very bad and wrongful view of this because they'll go over to great-grandma's or Uncle Zebulon's for Thanksgiving and somebody will be there eating the dickens out of a perfectly innocent piece of cutlery and then wonders why the turkey is shredded. So what we're going to do is talk about edges and the use of the proper use of these things right here. Basically what a sharpening steel does is it aligns the edge, the micro edge that's right there. And what happens is as you're using the knife, the edge will bend and distort at a very microscopic level. And what you want to do is straighten that back up so it can be used and it doesn't break off the knife. It will actually, at the microbial level, if that's the correct term, right at the very absolute zero, it will break and bend. And so what the steel does, you gently, at the same angle that you would be sharpening, you come down here, and there's a guard here so you don't lose something important. And so you would keep this edge like this with light pressure, and you can probably hear some of it, and that restores the edge. And you would do this as you're going along. If you'll notice, if you watch a real meat cutter, every so often they're out there stroking up the edge and getting it in good shape. So we're going to discuss a couple differences here, and so in the future you can maintain your cutlery a little easier. Most households wind up with something looking like this. It comes in the butcher block with all the other cutlery, and many times these things are not in too great a shape. There are many times the striations, many cutlery companies include a striated or grooved surface, which is very helpful in getting that edge realigned. But a lot of the times the ones that come in the butcher block are really coarse and they don't do the edge well. And the steel is not designed to abrade, it's merely designed to realign. So sometimes even though you may have one of these that came free with the price of the room in that J. Henkel's, you probably want to go elsewhere. Also, that many times they're too short. You can just kind of do the math right there. You can see you can injure yourself. So there are aftermarket manufacturers that make it with the longer, which you might want to call this the blade, and they also come with a nice big guard. And here the same thing. This way when you come down you've got the entire length of the tool and you're not worrying about trying to get this by without doing this and not spilling blood. So we're going to go here real quick. Alright, this one is manufactured by J. Henkel's and that is completely smooth. And in these, you basically have to buy these at a high-end cutlery shop or go online to somebody like A.G. Russell or Smoky Mountain Knife Works or a regular cutlery supplier. And this is even finer. And so if you've got a fine edge that you're using for strictly carving meats and things, not beating the dickens out of innocent tomatoes or lettuce on the countertop, and here again, it's nice and long, got a guard, and you can actually hear the difference. Hope the mic picks it up. So that's what the thought is. This just merely aligns the edge. So moving right along here, also, if you're in the field, if you're camping or whatever, you can get a smaller one that'll actually go in your camping goods, and so if you need to, you can pull out your faithful Victorinox and bring it back to life. But it's got enough length to where even with a full-size lockback, you still got enough to, so if you're a field and you're skinning out an elk or slicing up tomatoes for dinner, you can still bring things back to life in a small thing, because these things, you put this plus a bunch of stuff in your backpack, it's going to weigh something at the top of the hill. Moving right along, what's happened in about 20-30 years ago is they started making the sharpening steel with abrasive. And here's a field model. Now these are all diamond coated. They have a mild abrasive to them. They will act as a steel, but they have an abrasiveness to them. And typically, you don't want to use this for all your cutlery needs, because what happens is it wears the blade out. So if you are in the boondocks someplace, this is a great tool because you can also, because it has the diamond coating on it, you can bring a hatchet edge back to life, or any of your cutlery, because if you're at the end of the trail somewhere, or in case of the Grand Canyon at the bottom of the Bright Angel Trail and you need to get your cutlery back to life, this will make it works double, and it folds right inside itself. This is by the Easy Lap Company. We don't owe them any allegiance other than the fact they do a great product. And this part here is brass, so if you actually whack it with a blade or the edge, it will not damage the edge. It may flatten a little bit, but this point here is brass, not steel. Also, Easy Lap makes these funny little goodies. They're like this here for your tackle box, and it's got a little flat spot for sharpening a blade, and then it's got a groove for a fish hook and some other things, so it's kind of this one size fits all. It's a great little abrasive, but here again it's not the main thing that you'd use. Also, there's some ceramic. These are ceramic on the market. They actually work real well for putting on a fine edge, but you drop this on the kitchen floor, it'll shatter like glass. So you have to be kind of careful with them. But they have improved them. They're not as bad as they were. Now, here again, this is good old DMT company, and this is really fine, and it's designed to be in the kitchen or the restaurant or whatever, to where the cutlery gets a lot of heavy use. And here again, it's nice and long, rubber guard, and you can do your cutlery up, and this will restore an edge real quick. And if you buy one of the finer ones, you might be able to, if the knife starts to drag during the day, like if you're at the restaurant or the meat market, or you've got a huge party going on for 4th of July and you're going to have to shred a lot of lettuce or cut an awful lot of watermelon, the diamond abrasive ones can be very helpful. So in synopsis, sometimes, well, as you see, we've got a whole collection here, but I would suggest for the common household, if you can get one of the fine models of the diamond abrasive, and then like a J. Hinkle's or something to simply maintain it. That keeps your edge a lot longer, and then when it actually starts to need abrasion, a quick trip to the diamond hone and you're back in business. So at any rate, thank you for watching, and please remember to like and subscribe. Thank you and good day.